All right, I'm just going to speak, and I just want to thank KVEC for this grant opportunity. It's been great for our kids. Thank all our partners really quick. Berea College, Lowe's of Hazard, Home Lumber and Hazard, Begley General Store, Horton's Hardware, and I'm sorry if I forgot anybody out. Make sure to check out our tiny house. It is outside, and we are from Leslie County. My name is Justin Rice. I'm the principal at the Area Technology Center. I've brought 4 students with me today who have worked on that project. I'm going to let them introduce themselves really quick, and then I'm going to let them go through our presentation. Nothing in this presentation will really give you the effect of going through the house, okay? They've put a lot of hard work into it. Some of them are already getting some work opportunities and making some money based on what people have saw from it in our community. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and then we'll go on with our project, okay?
I am Garrett Shell. I'm a part of the welding class of Leslie County ATC.
I'm Hannah Roberts, and I'm with the electrical program.
I'm Charlie Gross, and I work at the carpentry shop over at Leslie County.
I'm Bobby Roberts, and I'm from the carpentry shop.
Okay, so the way our presentation is going to work, we've just got a slide that kind of shows the process of everything we went through. I'm going to let them speak for each program on what they did. And then at the end, there's 2 slides. One slide is kind of things that we discovered along the way. One is some problem solving that we had. And then the last one, if we have any questions, which I know we may be running short on time. But if you do have any questions, just come see us out the tiny house. Ask any of our kids out there, and they'll be able to tell you anything that you want to know, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get started.
For the tiny house trailer, we had to cut and weld leveling jacks so that way the house would be level when parking it. We had to cut extra cross members out of angle iron with a horizontal bandsaw to fit across the trailer. We had to weld bracket bolts so that way they could hold the actual house onto the trailer. It was very important to get these the right length so that way they would have enough space to be able to fit anything that they needed onto the tiny house. We used the Gmod welding process to use in welding all the pieces onto this except for the jacks because they needed stronger penetration, and the Gmod process is a lot more productive way and a better way of getting through the material that we had to get through in welding these pieces on.
Before we started building, we actually set up a little model to figure out what our roof pitch was going to be and how our stairs was going to work out. And once we got the trailer started, we went ahead and insulated the floor. And to attach our flooring down, we had to figure out a way so that we could bolt it down. So we went under the trailer and bolted some 2x4s to it.
Then when we started on our subflooring, first we put down I guess it was like a foam material to keep it from squeaking and stuff when the trailers are moving and when you're walking around. And then we bolted the, Vantech flooring down.
Yeah. Then we actually got started building the tiny house. We framed out our walls. We had laid out our plan onto the subfloor before we did that, so we know where everything went. And after we got our walls built, we went ahead and sheathed the walls with 1/2-inch OSB. We calculated the pitch so that it wouldn't be too tall so we could go under all the bridges that we'd have to pass on the way here. And we ended up being a 32-degree angle. And the reason why we made it so low is so you'd have more room up in the loft.
When we started medaling the roof, that was like a 4 or 5 guy project because where it was so steep. And then It was just there. I don't know what to say.
We had a little trouble getting the starter strips installed because they got to be perfectly level or it won't run straight. So we went ahead and put our starter strips on. We got D5, which is about 10 inches wide. That way it go pretty fast. You know more about plumbing.
Plumbing, we just started trying to find our best spot for water heater, and then we worked out from there, drilling our hose and running our pipes. What? Yeah, and then the compost toilet.
It's because it was meant to be hooked up just like a regular house, and a regular house has a regular toilet, so we decided not to go with compost.
We decided to use 12 gauge wire for 15 amp circuits. That way, like further on, if they wanted to change it, they could. And like, we have dedicated circuits for the kitchen. All circuits are GFCI. And it's 120 volt, 30 amp circuit for HVAC.
It took us a while to decide what kind of siding we put, so we sent a survey out through the school, and people voted on what kind of siding they wanted. We ended up with tongue and groove siding, and we made sure to shoot our brad nails at an angle, so when we put the next piece on, it wouldn't catch the nails.
Painting, I actually came in on a Saturday and a Sunday to do that, so there wasn't so much kids. But we ended up whitewashing it with a 50-50 mixture of paint and water. And then the trim work I also did, and then it turned out real nice, trim work.
We come in early, about second period one day, and we started running the flooring. We had a little trouble at first, but it was all right. We used 8mm Swift lock, and on the walls we left a little space so that if it expanded or shrunk, it would be fine. And we made sure that our wall trim would cover our expansion room.
With the final electrical work, we decided to use combo USB receptacles for because everybody has phones and it would just be easier. And we installed LED lights because they're brighter and 3-way switch circuits for the loft. That way you don't have to run up and down the stairs.
We made sure that it was fully furnished so if somebody wanted to buy it, they could just move straight in. We built bunk beds actually in-house by ourselves. And we built our stairs and our storage rooms.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
All right, so a couple problems that we had along the way, and some things that we really had to think about and think critically on, was how to attach the subflooring to the cross members, because you can't attach wood flooring to metal fastenings. So what we had to do is we had to make sure to put on 2x4s on the cross members of the bed of the trailer so that we could attach that. The roof pitch was also a little bit of an issue. We had to make sure we calculated that correctly. Floor sizing in the odd-shaped home. I mean, it's a really small home. You can't make it any wider than 8 feet. So you've got some really cramped up area. Working in tight shapes into different corners of the house was really tough, and working around the fender wells and hiding those. A couple discoveries we had, hopefully for next year's project. We figured out that having that porch was really helpful. I think a lot of ways it helped in the building process because you didn't have to get up and down all the time. You could set your stuff on that porch. Next year we'll install the plumbing before the electrical because it's a lot easier to run the wires than it is the plumbing. The electrical finish work probably needs to be done before we do a lot of the other interior work, so we're not stepping on the floor, and improving our scheduling. And the pie landing staircase was really I think it was a really big hit for us. It saved a ton of space, and it also opened up the house for more people to buy it because a lot of people probably can't climb up and down a ladder. But that's it. If you have any questions, please visit us outside at our tiny house, and they'll answer all those for you. And this will go on a public auction. somewhere in May or June, okay? So we would like you to bid on that and come visit us. Thank you.